Savinsky performing The Secret of the Rose Star Revealed, and Paul Sussman performing Do the Math. Please let's give them a warm welcome.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful, a miracle. Oh, it was beautiful, magical. And all the birds in the trees, oh, they'd be singing so happily, oh, joyfully, oh, playfully watching me. Then they sent me away to teach me how to be sensible, logical, practical, responsible. Then they showed me a world where I could be so dependable, clinical, intellectual, cynical. Now at times when all the world's asleep, the questions run too deep for such a simple scope. Won't you please, please tell me what we've learned? I know it sounds absurd, but please tell me who I am, who I am. Who are you? Said Pop the magic caterpillar to little Alice in Wonderland. Do you know? Do you have any idea? No, you don't. Ah, yes, life is a mystery. Oh, God is a mystery. I am a mystery to myself. And you definitely are a mystery to me. But I think there are a few things we can discover. Like archaeologists of the psyche, like detectives of the soul, we search for clues. Ba-dum, ba-dum, da-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum. You know, we just might begin this research project, this investigation, this enterprise by perhaps investigating, looking into our family background, our family history, the worldview, the customs, the rituals, the culture. All these contribute to our self-understanding. But during my grammar school years, my sister and I lived in Hollywood Boulevard, off the Sunset and Highland Boulevard. It was a small white duplex. My grandparents lived on one side and my mother lived on the other side, and my sister Bonnie and I would go back and forth between the two worlds. My mother, she was a working actress by day, but at night she would don on her matching hat, gloves, and handbag and be off to the local cocktail lounge with her acting buddies. They even dressed like this to go to the supermarket. It was the 50s, you know. Oh, darling, you really look very well in that color. You should wear it more often. You know, I think I'm going to have to get a new agent. He hasn't got me any work in months. It's foreign actors get all the parts. You know, it seemed like my mother was always changing her agents. Oh dear, that means I have to get new headshots, send out resumes. Oh, it's such a bloody bore. My mother, she was a cross between all the grand ladies of stage and screen. Maria Dietrich, Greta Garbo, Joan Crawford. She always said later in life, I should never have changed my maiden name, Patricia Katie, to Lorna Sayre. But of course, that's what we did in those days. We wanted something more glamorous. You know, I might have become a bigger star. My mother, she did the usual legitimate theater, Shakespeare, Tennessee Williams. But perhaps you remember her in the movie Five Easy Pieces with the young Jack Nicholson. Does anyone here remember that movie? Well, let me refresh your memory. I'll be back when you've made up your mind. I have made up my mind. I have an omelet plain. No potatoes on the plate. A side of wheat toast and a cup of coffee. I'm sorry, we don't make sides of wheat toast. It comes with a coffee roll or an English muffin. What do you mean you don't make sides of wheat toast? You make sandwiches, don't you? I don't make the rules. You've got bread and a toaster of some kind? Would you like me to call the manager? Let me make it easy for you. I like an omelet plain, no potatoes on the plate. A chicken salad sandwich on wheat toast. Hold the butter, the mayo, and the lettuce, and a cup of coffee. Number 2, chicken salad sand. Hold the mayo, the butter, and the lettuce, and a cup of coffee. Will there be anything else? Yeah, now, all you gotta do is hold the chicken, bring me the toast, write out a check for the chicken salad sandwich, and you haven't broken any rules. You want me to hold the chicken? I want you to hold it between your knees. You see this sign, sir? I'll not be taking any more of your sarcasm. You see this sign, lady? All the silver and glassware on the floor. It was just a couple days' work. My mom was happy to get it. A starving actress and all that. She had no idea it would become a classic scene in cinematic history. And the part she played, one of the most memorable waitresses of all time. My dad, too, he was an actor. George Nicholas Meade, Daddy. Tall, blonde, blue-eyed, Aryan Adonis. He had a beautiful speaking voice. He did voiceovers in commercials. He even did musical comedy. He would sing to my sister and I. Younger than springtime are you, softer than laughter are you. Then at 3 years old, my mother and my father divorced. Daddy? Daddy? Where'd my daddy go? Has anybody seen my daddy? Daddy! First he's here, then he's not. Did I say something wrong? Well, after my mother served some papers, he just kind of shut down, and he didn't want to think about the past, just wanted to go on with his life. I mean, sometimes he'd come by with presents for Christmas, or sometimes he would take us out to lunch. The Sea Lion was a very popular restaurant in Malibu, overlooking the ocean. Nikki, darling, the waitress is waiting for your order. I'm sorry, Daddy. Everything looks so good. I don't know what to choose. Shirley Temple, crab cocktail, and duck l'orange. Well, that's quite an unusual order for a fish restaurant. You're becoming a gourmet just like your father. Yes, Daddy. Now, my mother's side of the apartment, the decor was very she, very glamorous, very Hollywood. There was these wraparound curtains that covered these windows all around the room that had this marvelous 30-ish design of plumes and palm tree branches and feathers with splashes of magenta and chartreuse. Chartreuse was a big color in those days. And I would put on the 33 1/3 long playing albums, Scheherazade or Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, and I would just dance to my heart's content. La-dum, la-da-dum, da-da-dum, la-da-da-dee, la-da-da-dee, da-da-dum, la-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-dee, da-da, la-da-da-da-dee, da-dum. Now, my grandparents' side, it was much more practical, very utilitarian. There was The double bed my sister and I slept in. It had no particular headboard, no particular bedspread, just a box spring mattress sheet, nothing fancy. And in the middle of the room was a pull-down bed that always stayed pulled down that my grandparents slept in. There wasn't a lot of walking space in that living room, especially with the upright piano that my grandmother and my Uncle Clark played. My Uncle Clark, he lived in the back bedroom. He was the oldest of the 4 children. Then came my mother, my Auntie Anne, and my Auntie Adrian. But my uncle loved opera and playing that piano. My grandmother would shout, "Clark, stop pounding the piano!" We kids though really loved his rendition of the Green-Eyed Dragon. Beware, take care of the green-eyed dragon with the 13 tails, who feeds with freedom little boys in polka-dot pails and big fat snails. Oh, Uncle Clarky, sing it again. My grandmother too, she was very musical and she loved playing that piano herself. Welcome, sweet springtime, la-dee-la. Now, girls, remember when you sing, open your mouth wide. Put 2 fingers in your mouth. La, 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 la. The notes on the space, F-A-C-E, spell face. La, 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 la. The notes on the lines, E-D-B-D-F. Every good boy does fine. My grandmother, she was getting now into her 50s, and she had put on a little bit of weight over the years. And especially in the upper body area, she needed a little control. So she had these custom-made corsets she was very proud of. And I'd watch her lace those up every day. She'd put on her fine little linen dress and her matching jacket. And for her coiffure, she had these clumps of fake hair, which she would put right in the middle of her head. And with her very special comb, she would twirl one side to the center and do the same to the other side. She'd put on a wide, thin, flowered hat. And with her walking cane, she was indeed the Dowager Empress, strutting off to Hollywood Boulevard for her favorite pork noodle soup. Bonnie, Nicky, she would call us to come in for dinner or get ready for bed. Our neighborhood friends really got a big kick out of her high falsetto voice. My grandmother, she was a Sagittarian. I don't know if you know much about Sagittarians, but they can be outspoken to a fault, and my grandmother was no exception. They'll sling hash for a living, and don't wash dirty diapers. But above all, do not be a cesspool for men. Oh, grandmother, how could you say such a thing? I guess my grandmother was one of the first feminists. Needless to say, I did my dutiful best to ignore all her dictums. My grandfather and my grandmother, they came from the East Coast, Massachusetts. Well, my grandfather would have lived there forever, but my grandmother had other ideas.